Thank you for the goodwill. I feel nice to see people in the gang at least wishing me well. Thank you.
So
and being proud of me.
Thank you. I must also ask you some questions.
So I shouldn't stop at greeting. Okay.
No, you're done greeting. Greeting should be like 2 seconds.
I also bring you greetings from Mbale City.
Okay, you're still greeting.
Let me tell you a joke we have in Burundi. Our internet is so bad there. So when you're making WhatsApp,
there's no time to greet.
No, you start with a message. Then the greetings can come later.
The greetings come after because you might lose the message. It's the same story of someone who went to talk nicely, then the one who wanted the salt came and took the salt, or the one that they asked to came and took the axe. So you remain with nothing.
So Lydia, when we had a discussion here at the time, I thought you were chasing, Bioyavia, whatever, that the thing had gone because SEC had sat down and said they are taking a speaker. But now I've seen, you've just told us that there's a rule that says no campaigning, but there's obvious campaigning. We see people meeting others and others speaking to others. So the question to you is, who are you meeting? And will it work? Because if you're meeting no one, maybe things will not happen for you.
Last week I was here and I was able to let the listeners know in your business, maybe also saw it, that I'm expressing interest for the office of the Speaker of the 12th Parliament. And I'm going to follow the rules to the letter. I'm also going to follow the NRM rules to the letter. I'm a member of the NRM and the leader in the NRM, and I'm a founding member of the NRM party.
So you've not gone to meet the chairman?
I've written the chairman because
SS.
No, I'm going to. I've written.
You have not met the leader of PLU. There are so many. So you have not met the chairman. You've not met General SS. You've not met the chairman of PLU. Who are you meeting? Let me switch off all other microphones and you address those questions.
I was urged and encouraged by the voters of Mbale City, and I did the announce from Mbale City at House Plot 49, Maluku. It's a historic place for us, where Mzee was in 1973, to do the following. Number one, to officially inform my colleagues who are members of parliament from Mbale City, but also Mbale sub-region, the Bugisu, then all the other members, and also inform the expression of interest to the party leaders. Some of them you have mentioned. I have written to His Excellency the President, who is also the national chairman of the party. I'm writing to all the members of parliament, expressing interest, but also quoting both the party rules and the rules of procedure of parliament. In my humble opinion, Parliament is very procedural with a lot of decorum. All of you know that. And I don't want to be a candidate that flouts the rules. You're supposed to be the custodian. The custodian of the rule of law of the country is housed in the legislature. The custodian of the Constitution of Uganda is housed in the legislature. The representative of the people, the people's voices, the people's expressions, especially people like Oscar, is housed in the legislature. So I cannot make a mistake. Even if it would advantage me, like the way you're talking, I cannot make that mistake.
Okay.
I cannot.
Let me talk
flouting the rules, and yet I'm going to be the custodian of those rules. And I'm going to encourage all my would-be voters and supporters, just do it for me. Do not flout the rules. When the right time comes, I'll be a custodian of rules I have been proclaiming to be the custodian for the next 5 years. So that said, yes, Oscar, the stakeholders of the NRM party where I'm starting from, including Bamwine here. People, you see Bamwine, you think, but these are very serious stakeholders of my party. Even Edgar here is a professional lawyer.
Right in,
these are very serious people of the NRMs. They are stakeholders. You cannot wish them away. So we will consult quietly, and where it is needed, we shall write and wait for the
You're
right
disclosing
decision.
my party affiliation.
No,
permission.
Stakeholders.
So Edgar.
Stakeholders.
I'm seeing
Edgar
the
stakeholders.
Edgar Tabaro.
Stakeholders.
A question to you.
Yes, sir.
Is what other advice are you going to give to your student? Because I've put to her pertinent questions. You have answered as far as possible, as you've used a lot of legalese. So Your teacher trained
I am
you
not
well.
asking
But let
to
me
be a
ask you-
mobilizer of the
let me
NRM
ask
where you
You
can
see why I
dance
told
or
you I'm
whatever.
proud of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's articulating
She's
the law
feisty.
very well.
Yeah. So now,
Oscar, let me just finish. That office
You
is
don't want
meant
me
for
to ask him
purpose.
the
For
question.
purpose. You cannot just. It's not for everybody. You must fit the purpose. And I fit the purpose. It has procedure issues. It has decorum issues. It has protocol issues.
we know all those things. Edgar Tabaro, your student has not met the chairman of PLU, has not met General SS. Who are the people to meet, and what are the opponents? Who are the opponents meeting?
First of all, I must declare my conflict of interest.
Well,
The Honorable Lydia Wanyoto is a pal. I taught her for 4 years, and we have continued to interact.
we now have 4 lawyers in the studio.
The Honorable Norbert Mao is a family friend. Mao is a family friend, and I've interacted with. I was at Namiango College, where Mao left a record as head prefect. I became head prefect much later, 94, 95, and he's been a mentor in many ways. And I continued to interact with Mao even when he was in the mainstream opposition, even when it was inconvenient.
So you remember
for people on this side to interact with the people.
Remember the other Sami who said Tabaro does not answer questions. So the question to you was, who must Lydia meet, and her opponents meeting other people?
Yeah, but I think,
And I'm taking notes.
But I think all this thing is premature. I mean, there's still a parliament running, and the new parliament has the elected persons have not yet taken oath of office. So, if they are campaigning for the position of speaker, where should they be? Whom should they be meeting? Current members of parliament who have lost their seats, or the incoming members of parliament? Then there are many dynamics in the NRM. I know the names have to be taken to the neck. The last time, the information coming in that after the passing of the Right Honourable Jacob Olanya, the preference from the highest office was that for both the Honourable Jacob both Minister for Defence. But the Deputy Speaker then, I think, had mobilized very well and done her kakuyege. But I would like to give a historical context to all this. In 1994, President Museveni nominated some 5 persons to be chairpersons to be elected as candidates for the chairpersonship of the Constituent Assembly. Those were Pahabolo, Ayume, and Habgoba. Unfortunately, they're all dead. I think Professor Victoria Mwaka, was the 5th person. I forget the 5th person.
The name will come.
Justice Ntavgova, after his introduction, pulled out, and I can say it on air, I don't have the permission, pulled out because information came that were he to take the chairmanship, a substantive principal judge was going to be appointed from the Katuntu's home area. So he withdrew from the race. I think it remained between Ayume and Wapabulo. Now, Ayume was seen as an Amini person because he was Kakwa like Amini and had served Idi Amini as DPP. So unfortunately, it didn't happen. So 96, that was the 6th Parliament? The 6th Parliament, 1996. Previously, there was a Joseph Ekemu who had been sitting in for Speaker for the Right Honourable Moses Chigongo, Alhaji Moses Chigongo. So to pave way for Wapakabolo to have clear lead, President Museveni appointed Justice Ekemu as Attorney General, and he lost interest in being Speaker. Now, first for the same Wapakabolo was removed from the position of Speaker and appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs, where he did exceptionally well. Now, there came Ayume now as Speaker. There came NPC didn't do well. I have my own reasons. I don't know. But as Yeah, but as a foreign minister, he really did well.
Now, when he left speakership, he went to
NPC first before he. So I'm coming.
And we have run out of time.
But I'm building my case.
We have 1 minute to the break.
I'm building my case.
10:59.
Yes,
the break is at 11.
I'm building my case. Honorable Ayume was appointed Attorney General to create way
for
not for Pabulo, for Sekandi this time. So on this occasion, the outgoing speaker could very be easily appointed to the executive and changes all the dynamics that we are talking about here.
Let's stop for a break. We welcome you, Honorable Abdul Katuntu. Welcome to Gang. Yeah, the road had to get out very early because that road is a bit tricky. John Mark Mwanika on X, formerly Twitter. Patience. Let's stop for a break. Welcome back from the break, jolly break as well. Honorable Katuntu is in the studio. Welcome once again to Gang.
Thanks.
There we were thinking the matter was done and dusted. SEC had spoken. But it does seem that this matter is not done and dusted. And in the break, I've learned that you are also Tabaro's teacher. So we have teachers all over here. And then I asked Lydia, who is she meeting? And she's saying she's going to follow the rules. So she will not meet the chairman. So she will not meet the chairman of PLU. She will not meet General SS. But she has met the people of Mbale. She has written to the chairman of her party. So the question to you, Abdul, is this question not done and dusted?
Well, thank you, Oscar, and I'm sorry I'm late. In politics, 1 day, 1 week is a very long time.
Right.
Anything can happen. But having said, I was listening to Lydia, and I've heard even the Honorable Chairman Mao said that, they're not supposed to campaign, and I'm like, which ladies are they reading? Rule 5, and by the way, I'm the boss of the rules.
In the rules committee.
I have been for the last 5 years. Only applies to members of parliament. You cannot be a non-MP, and that rule applies to you. So, Lydia, stop parading that rule. You are not campaigning, be what, and so on. No, you are not a member. You're only a member after being sworn in.
Taking oath of office.
As it is now, you are not any different from Joseph Ochen.
No, she's an elect. Ocheno is not.
But legally, that's where it ends. Legally. And some of them have not even been gazetted. Yes, and others are being gazetted. So it can only be effective rules of to apply to them when they have been sworn in. And the reason was that once you are members of parliament, then you conduct business in a certain way. They are not bound by now. Now all of them can do anything. By the way, this thing, I'm not campaigning, but I'm writing so-and-so, I'm meeting so-and-so, I went to Maluku. That is purely campaigning. You are actually talking to people. And there is nothing wrong with it in my view. The country should be prepared for it because we know that we shall need a speaker. So we are going to talk about it. And those people who are, they are prospective, like my sister Lydia here, have all the right to talk to everybody, to write to people, to call MPs who are elect, and including those who are outgoing, because somehow they could advise them on how to go about getting into that office. So, yes, the campaign is okay until they have been sworn in. And once you are sworn in, please go by the rules. Having said that, Oscar, we go to who should be the speaker. I think it depends on who is answering that question. One, this process is going to be governed by the law, but by also the politics. The law in the sense that you need to qualify, and all MPs qualify, all of them, regardless of the parties, regardless even of whether you came on affirmative action, youth, women, like of one point, all of them qualify, all members of parliament, except those who have been appointed as ministers, and therefore they become ex-officio members of parliament. Those are the ones who are disqualified. But in any case, they become ex-officio members of parliament after the speaker has been elected and sworn in, because the one who presides over their approvals and so on through the appointments committee. So legally, all of them qualify. Now, after you've legally qualified, then what happens? The politics come in. What do the stakeholders think? For example, the ruling party, are they ready to front Mr. Katana as a party member, as a speaker? Those are the questions. Or do you float somebody who is now associating with you, and then he comes from a minority party in parliament, which sometimes is very difficult to appreciate. And let me tell you why. The Honorable Chairman Mao, very brilliant and very good friend of mine, has had a big challenge. You know, he has been seated on the side of government, and his party members have been seated opposite. and when he stands up and says, for example, you people in the opposition, and is pointing to some of his party members. So it's a very difficult position he's in, actually, both legally and politically. So is it the sort of person you would want now to say, okay, now you are the speaker, irrespective of his party position? Two, I think parties now, even if it was in the national unity platform, would want to have what they call loyalty. So you people who are aspiring, my sister Lydia, the first thing would be loyalty to your own party. Who of these is more loyal to the party? That's the first, before you do anything beyond it. And what do you expect a speaker to deliver on?
And what is loyalty?
What is loyalty? What do you expect you as a ruling party, what do you expect your speaker to deliver on? Each and every position of the party must be delivered on. Now, who of you standing now can have I don't know how to put it. Who of you standing now can deliver on each and every aspect of a party agenda? So don't lie to yourself. There's history to it, and everybody knows those who are moving around and so on. It will not be rhetoric that whoever talks well, and if it was so, there's one candidate who would be
now
most unopposed. But this has nothing to do, when I was a Gidi president, when I stood against Betty Gombe, there were very few people. Oh, please. It will not be that.
The dynamics are different.
The dynamics are different. People are going to be looking at us as a party who can deliver our agenda. And whoever of these can deliver the party agenda, and the chairman of their party is convinced, will be the next speaker, irrespective of other considerations.
And
even before I end there, I've been watching as a participant from 2001. In 2001, when you had just gone to Parliament, we had a crisis.
You were young parliamentary association.
Yes, no, that had been in the 6th Parliament, but now we are talking about the 7th Parliament. The name of Benny Wacha was floated.
Yes.
Looking around, he was the best candidate. And he had the support of the biggest constituents. The biggest constituents at that time, biggest in terms of influence, the army representatives. All of them supported Ben Wacha. Now, when we went, and I was his agent. So first of all, we went for dinner in the State House in Nakasero. It ended at around 9:10. Then they said, now let's go and talk politics at the conference center. So from 10 I hope I'm not taking the Tabaro route. But so we went to the conference center.
We have consensus with my teacher.
When we reached the conference center, much as the army was clearly openly to Mukunde, Mayombo, everybody was openly campaigning for Benwacha. And everybody thought really he's the best suited. The Baganda and the Catholic ganged up. And they said they needed it. And the people like Nankavirwa and others, all of them fronted. No, I said the Baganda and Catholic, both of them. The Jana Tumukwai, all of them said, no, Benwacha is good. But
The thing is ours.
the loyalty. And at that time, by the President Museveni, I need to give him credit. When he came, he didn't campaign for anybody. When he didn't, he was like, what do we do? The armies were moving up and down. Then I saw the army members being summoned. At the conferences, there is a back room there. They summoned them and said, okay, now we have a crisis. There's this biggest conference, which is very royal, and it wants Edward II Kiwanuka. So I think it's better abandon this. Now, eventually they came, being convinced, they came and agreed, and now kept quiet. Then the president said, yes, I know that's the name of Benwacha, because he saw Benwacha's name had really sold. Yes, he's a good man, he's a good lawyer, and so on. But there is this issue of loyalty. And,
Case closed.
Yes, and he says, we can give him something. That's when he offered the Ministry of, I think, State for Environment or Forest or something like that. Of course, which Ben outrightly rejected. And so we can give him something, but for this particular position, let us give somebody who is
and hence Right Honorable Sakandi. Moses Biarwanga has reminded you that the fifth person was Kadaga.
Actually, it was Rebecca Kadaga was the fifth person.
So Joseph Ocheno, I don't know if you read, Fonopondo had a very scathing article totally addressing Mao. And that article, it like in Uganda they say yali ali dobuka, and I upgraded it yali ali de number.
No, I didn't, except that I saw it, so I didn't really go into the details.
I'll send it to you. It's worth a read.
Please, yes, I actually think I have
a higher level of insult. He really delved into Mao language.
I was.
How can worthy reading be insults? Who wants to read insults?
Mao is very good with that.
Ofono Podo insulted the late Semogeri, and I was like,
okay, whom has the ever insulted?
That's a good question.
Salam Musumba. You remember the exchange at the conference center too?
It was a very relatives, very high level.
Actually, I think regardless, I did honestly didn't expect that that would be the tone that my good brother Fono would take. Number two, I think where we are as a country, I'm not quite sure whether it's necessarily the most advised thing, really, for all of us, particularly those who continue in active polity. I think we need genuine moderation. And for people who are privileged like Lydia, going into the much more mainstream in terms of elective polity, I wish you well. And in the event that you became the speaker, I would like to see that you provide leadership so that languages that are unnecessary are sort of kept back. But that said, I am disappointed that you guys are confining this to 1991, 92, 93, 94, 95. No, I want us to context. Because then you risk limiting it to non-experience of NRM. No. This thing's not about UPC, NRM monolithic polity. But I think the point that Abdu has raised is one of those things that actually not particularly very commonly known in terms of the discussion that nearly led to Benwacha becoming speaker. The nearest to doing something constructive under NRM administration was bound to be advising Jacob Olanya as Speaker, partly because I had the confidence that really had the take and had a conversation with him. But number two, because I generally knew that we need a legislative assembly which is strong, which is organized, which is exemplary, one which people who follow Abdu and Lydia should look up to it as an institution and look up to representatives there as people who are real mentors.
In short,
so,
Mao.
No, the principle of this is this. That Parliament is too important. No, I'll not stick to individuals. Parliament is too important an institution to be localized to this. Genuinely, we need to know what it is as a legislative organ. We need to have real leaders, and that's why I believe that when looking at this, we need to be able to contextualize what has Anita done in the last 5 or so years. What was the performance of the persons before her? And I was trying to say that if you look at it and maybe pull it from independence, what is the role of Parliament? Really, I don't think this is election of a speaker should be a matter for caucuses. Caucuses should really be able to advise. In my opinion, like Abdu again is saying, Parliament is an assembly of people who are requiring a prefect. Granted, the biggest number would be the ruling political party, in this case, NRM. But really, if legislators are looking at somebody who's going to be the presiding officer, who's the enabler, who's the critic, somebody who's able to play politics cross-bench, it doesn't matter whether or not they come from the ruling political party. But by and large, it would appear that people take interest. But when interests become like those that people talk saying candy, so I want a Catholic rather than somebody who's actually going to be a genuine presiding officer to balance the process. Part of where I don't slightly disagree with Abdu is that the party agenda, whereas it's obviously understandable, we need a solid person to manage big legislative programs. But the work of the speaker should really not be pushing a party agenda. That should be the job of the chief whip. In any case, actually, in a normal democracy and the future democracy in which UPC is actually the helm, we would really want to make sure that the speaker, if the UPC speaker, you don't see a UPC speaker being partisan, going to bottle up with people around Makerere, around particular corner of Ntungamo, candidate A, B, C, candidate A. No, that is ideally something which is too big for them. And for that reason, it should be, even if it's from a governing political party, it should be somebody who's much more moderate, much more deep, much more fair, and much more specific and detailed. And on this occasion, whatever happens...
Like Lydia.
Someone like Lydia, and Lydia will do a fantastic job.
Let's go to Benjamin.
Sharaini in Maruku. In fact, because you yes, I want to start by withdrawing my endorsement of Lydia because of Maruku. But that is besides the...
Benjamin is on microphone.
That is besides the...
Yeah. Gone?
Yeah.
Benjamin gone.
Because Mbale are listening and they are done to...
No, you didn't go to Maruku because of Mbale people. You went to Maruku because of Museveni, and you have mentioned it here.
But
so don't hide behind Mbale people. It is a shrine in that context.
Them, they are organized.
But that is besides the point.
No,
I think the architecture of our constitution intended to create the checks and balances through institutions like Parliament. But over time, I think that has largely been lost, in a sense that the institution of Parliament looks, especially the leadership, they look at, for example, presiding over Parliament as a deployment, not just from NRM, but from Museveni. That's why when they are going to seek the chances of winning, and we have been here advising Lydia that instead of going to meet leaders, you should go and meet Salim Saleh and go and meet the leader of PLU, all of whom come. No, the leader of PLU, the supreme chairman of PLU is Mohozi, all of whom come from the same family.
Tabaro will call them elephants.
Yeah, Tabaro would call them elephants, but I choose to use their names. I'm sure they wouldn't be happy being referred to as elephants. Maybe as...
But go on.
I'll not go to that. So, that itself shows you the orientation of the individuals that seek to be the presiding officers of the 12th Parliament. The Honorable Katuntu and rightly said that parties look for loyalty, but I think while doing so, if we are intentional about building a democracy, of course we are not at the moment, especially the Edgar's party, you would have a presiding officer who is loyal to the party but has the presence of mind to know that while you preside over the house, you have a constitutional duty and mandate not to take partisan direction.
Some people would
in
argue
doing
that
so.
Anita Among has done that.
How has she done so?
That she has been speaking to opposition members and so on.
She has been quarreling with opposition people both in house and outside house. I don't think that is conduct expected of a house speaker.
I think some of the opposition members have been accused because they have associated with her.
Yes.
Actually, many of the
she has
MPs have been.
She has been involved in
Because
chicken
they are
fights
like,
both on the floor and outside with
of being a very close associate of the Right Honorable Speaker.
on the last show
That's what I hear.
about the same matter. Lydia challenged him to disclose his interest, but that's besides the point. So the 12th Parliament, regardless of who is Speaker, is going to do Museveni's bidding, whether it is Mao, whether it is Lydia, whether it is whoever.
And when has that been different?
Well, that is why under Museveni, yes,
So
because there has been a fusion, and it is not starting with the 12th Parliament. There has been a fusion of the state and the individual. That is why state institutions like Parliament look at themselves as, especially the leadership, they look at themselves as individuals that have been deployed to do work for Museveni, not for the people of Uganda. And that is not about change in the 12th Parliament.
It's on your microphone, so continue.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
not finished.
because you are heckling, which is
But don't respond to the
characteristic of NRM people and RDCs. So it is a combination of two problems. Yeah. So that's why I think even the debate about who becomes the speaker, who doesn't become, does not add much value to the political discourse in our country, because the institution, in any case, if Lydia here, in the unfortunate event that she becomes speaker, especially now that chooses to be on the side of the people, Museveni can easily have her impeached if he wants. So the parliament as an institution, I think, can play a very, very minimal role in the execution of its mandate of checks and balances, because it is squarely under captivity. And the debate of who becomes the speaker, who doesn't become the speaker, it is not of significant importance to the political discourse of our country. Yeah.
Thank you. We still have 5 minutes to the break. Fred Bamwine, the topic is still there. The debates are going, and Honorable Katuntu, chairman of House Rules, has said we can continue.
But even here, what we are doing now is campaigning.
For who?
And raising candidates and saying who should be speaker, what kind of.
Okay.
It's campaigning itself.
For who? You campaign for who you want.
Once we mention the speaker should be of this caliber, you are helping the voter to look at the candidates available. But me, I don't like to pretend. The issue of the speaker, it is basically two things. One is political. Nobody should gross about it. There has been a political contest. We have finished one layer of elections. We are now going to another layer of elections. So people are going to compete. And the ruling government, which won the election, it must do whatever it can, its means, to make sure that the coming speaker is that person who has the capacity to deliver the manifesto of that party. Politically, not about it. So as far as I'm concerned, actually I sympathize with Mao. I saw him in TV the other day. And he was asking...
You sympathize with him?
Yes, because he was asking a question. People have been accusing me that I'm NRM. Now I hear NRM, they are not putting me on a short list. They said, but I represent this NRM in international forums, signing agreements as NRM.
Vice chairperson of the Uganda Development Forum. National Development Forum.
So he says, how come I be discriminated at this time? I need also to be on the short list. So I don't know whether you can campaign for a short list by now, or you should have done it before.
Who has created the short list?
Because the short list that is being mentioned...
Let him finish.
Lydia has told you she's a founder member of the party. Yes.
Of NRM?
Yes. 2005, she's a member. She's a founder member.
He has put it right. He has said Lydia has told you. Yes. So you can't dispute what Lydia has told you.
But even there's a book. There's a book for founder members. There's a book for founder members. She's among the... Then two...
Fred Bamwine, please go on.
Then two, in her narration, when she was going to declare, she went to the circles, and Katana mentioned it as a shrine, but she went in the foundation of NRM, as far as for NASA, where the President Museveni was supposed to be killed, where he lost his friends, Maruku. I don't know. The name may not be good, but Maruku contributed to NRM.
Go on, Mr. Bamine, continue. We have 1 minute to the break.
Three.
Yeah.
We have already two people who are speakers, the speaker and the deputy speaker, who were endorsed by SEC last time. Then we have other people who have declared so. I've had Namuganza, I saw an MP from Aringa, but from Western, I think his constituencies. So, others are coming. So as far as
others are coming?
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is
as far as you're concerned,
this is NRM House.
Yeah.
And they are going to look at the NRM rules. What do they say? How flag bearers endorsed by SEC. And once SEC has sat and endorsed whoever is going to be endorsed, that will be the speaker and the deputy speaker. So my advice to...
But your advice to?
My advice to Lydia.
Advice to?
My advice to Lydia.
Your advice to Lydia, yes. Gone?
My advice to Lydia is to look at first of all, the party chairman has a key interest in this position because he's the leader of the party and he knows he wants to where the country is going.
Advice. You are advising and you have gone off.
Two, SEC members are there. Before you go even to the members who are going to vote for you. Because whoever is not going to be endorsed by SEC as a flag bearer cannot win that position.
Dynamics are different.
It hasn't, but then we have history. We have history to talk about. Did she win?
No, she did.
You come out here. So, Bamine, first pause there and we stop for a break. We stop for a break. Welcome back to the gang, final section. Fred Bamine, I had allowed you another 2 minutes.
Yes. So, the issue of the speaker, as far as I'm concerned, NRM, first of all, need to look at the rules. What do they say regarding the election of the speaker? Two,
what rules? Parliamentary rules?
No, the party rules. But two, there is a growing concern. SEC, they are about Saturday.
No, they are now a few.
Okay. There's a growing concern that SEC is a smaller body. But we are members here who are about 400 members of this party why don't we have an opportunity to decide who should be our speaker as a party, as flag bearers in the party? That's a debate that is emerging now. So I think, to me, as far as I'm concerned, politically, it is time for the party now to go back in the bedroom. I was also, when I was talking about Mao, I don't know, I have not looked at the cooperation agreement with Mao, with DP.
Who has?
I don't know, assuming in that cooperation agreement, assuming there is a clause saying DP members will be allowed to participate in all party NRM activities. You could send it. So I think it's an area that is opening discussion, and people who are interested in politics.
Okay, but you looked at that.
But once you look at it, you look at the clauses. You never know.
Lydia, who is second member there? Have you read that agreement?
But time has come now. Time has come now to look at it. So to me, as far as I'm concerned, politically, it's an area that we need to open our minds, and we look at where things may not. Maybe even there may be rules which are not favorable to the country or to the party itself. So, if NRM wants to remain united without people leaving, most members of parliament of NRM flag bearers should have a say in who is supposed to be their member of parliament. Now, I had Comrade Wanyoto speaking about if it was UPC speaker. Yes. But UPC was here. You are not telling us something new.
No.
UPC was here twice.
No, the best.
And
UPC.
How was he elected? No, how was he elected? We are talking about elections of the speaker. How was he elected?
Yeah, through.
By the House.
By the House.
Yes.
And that's my point.
Once you have UPC which failed Parliament twice,
never.
You don't raise it now. After this period, these are things to reform. By the way,
what's the other 16th MP? The Indian, the one from South Asia.
No.
Thank you.
Just 30 seconds, please.
Let me finish.
Yeah. I was giving you some.
So, Honorable Lydia, I would want to request you. This is your time. Go and shine.
Yeah, considering the scandals we've had in the last 5 years.
Your voters, look at the leadership of the party and say, I'm here. And this is what I stand
for. Okay, thank you.
Basically, politics.
We're going to have Lydia give the last word on this because she's the
speaker in this house.
She's the speaker in this house. But before you give the last word, I can give a minute to anyone who wants something to address to Lydia. Go on, Joseph.
No, it is really that Lydia, you should be focusing that on all the parliamentarians should be the ones to determine this, and it should really be about competence. And considering the scandals we've had, considering the corruption in the House, considering the business of the commissioners, considering that the more recent speakers, one went ahead and did term limits, another one did age limit, and for you're going to be the speaker of the future. Surely we should make sure that Parliament is an independent body that is able to stand firm against the interest of the corners of what the media refers. But we wish you well.
No, let her answer.
Abdu, would you like a minute? Edgar, would you like a minute?
We are not going to reinvent the wheel. The excitement is there, yes, as of now. But really, to me, I don't see that reason for this excitement. One, it is true and it's quite legitimate and legal for people to have ambition to lead institutions. That is a perfect locker with me. But I can see, because you see, Mr. Bamwini, when you say it is high time, because I know, for example, how has the presidential candidate been coming up in the NRM?
Yes.
Do you think that there is a possibility for the National Delegates Conference, you call it the National Delegates Conference, to sit and reject SEC and NEC recommendation? Do you see that possibility about a presidential candidate? So, I think don't try to change the principle.
Bearing in mind they had one nomination form.
You see, once precedents have been set, you are going to follow them. And let me tell you, one, I can see last time there was a problem because, yes, NEC and SEC decided on Olanya Anita combination. But Rebecca, the Honorable Right Honorable Rebecca, and many others actually rebelled and went ahead, notwithstanding the NEC and the SEC. So there's nothing new. You have some sort of rebellion. As to whether they can perform as much as Rebecca Kadaga did in this parliament is another question. But also, to be honest, Oscar, many people who are coming, they don't see their chances as being speaker. One, they want their names to be there. And eventually on the table, it's okay. Bamwine don't mind. We can there are many things in the Father's Council we can do. Because it has happened. For example, you remember the Right Honorable Thomas Tayeba. At first, he wanted to be deputy speaker, but he was talked out and eventually became the chief whip.
Yeah.
And when circumstances allowed, he eventually became deputy speaker.
Thank you, Abdul.
So
Lydia?
People want to go on the
final word.
I have listened to what you told Katuntu to advise me.
I told Bamwine, not Katuntu.
Even Katuntu said he can have a say, and they have taken notes. But I want to say that I don't just want to be seen or heard. I want to be very firm that I'm expressing interest to be Speaker of the 12th Parliament, and I have what it takes. So make no doubt about that. I also want to give you corrections so that you know, to both what Katuntu has said and Bamwine. We have internal elections in the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, and these names are brought in elections. There is a vote. I want to tell you that we had the 4 people who contested, who were delivered to the NRM Parliamentary Caucus in the last time to be voted. Robin Arakwojo went for a vote. Honorable Among went for a vote. And Taiwa went for a vote. So it is not true that SEC is this dictatorial organ that dictates. And I really, because I've been a SEC member and also a worker, there are two different things. I served the SEC as a staff. As a staff for 12 years because we were backing SEC. Then as a SEC member for 10 years. Yes, SEC is a very powerful organ of the party. But let me say this, and I hope that the current SEC members can also come and back me up. You have too much power. You take strength for the party. But there is a window. You give members a breathe. It's also maybe a consoling agency. You go and express your interest. They cancel you. They give options. But SEC has never held the hammer to say you cannot be. We have decided that has never happened. And you don't. That's not even. If you are talking about presidents, then this will be the first president to look out to people. SEC listens to members. We do anything, even for the speaker.
Edgar, we said she's
even
closing
for
it
the
out.
speaker, even for the speaker, even for the speaker. The different. No, let me finish because I don't want you people to, if narratives, maybe for lack of information or you have your own agenda.
Did you see how I've kept him quiet?
Because I want people to know
to say and finish.
that SEC is the final organ of our party. It is actually very powerful. But the chair or the members have not given, they have not used that blocking power, that dictatorial power. It has never happened. If it happened, this is going to be, now, even for the last speakers that served the 2 terms, people that wanted to express interest did, and that conversation happened. But I mean, if you've been in privy to this, you can also defend on this. People, even Olanya came contesting all the time. But they would sit him down and say, these are the options. And then they would go to the caucus and explain the process, how it has happened. For Second and Kadaga, Second was never a member of SEC or caucus. He would be there. And then the president would come and say, currently we have Second. He was a member of the CA. He's a senior citizen. He saw us through the referendum in 2005. We give him another. Second has never Second, he has never been a member of SEC or even in the parliamentary caucus. But he took, but then there was that process to explain, to convince, and to grow consensus. So I don't want anybody to leave here, including Katuntu.
Thank you.
To say, there's this SEC dictatorial, 2 people will come. There was a vote. There has been a vote. People like Nwagaba, Sechikubo, there are so many members of the NRM caucus. They have been consistently expressing interest. Lydia, they don't win, but they are given an opportunity.
To feel that you have made
and
the
it is an insult, an indictment
for
anybody to think that when you stand out, despite intimidation, which even I see here on Nugang, that we have no chance. Who told you?
So thank you, Lydia.
Allow us to express our interest. It is our right.
I want you to feel that
they're out to come. They're out to come. It's not my business. My business it is to present my interest, and that we shall. And let me finish, Oscar. Let me finish. That we had precedents which have since the last election been broken. We are starting afresh because the precedents were trampled upon. And we are beginning afresh. We are beginning afresh.
Lydia, this topic
we are beginning, and I want to request people to respect the rules of electing a speaker.
Edgar, you're